I'm Yiggi, and I'm a compulsive overeater. And like all of you, I weigh and measure my food off the GreySheet plan. I write it down. I call into my beautiful sponsor, and I don't do anything in between the 3 meals except more program or program, no more program. And I'm not afraid to try new things. And I practice restraint of tongue and pen because my family is involved in a destination wedding, and it's in Mexico. So there's lots of room for misunderstandings and blah, 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 blah. Did you get this? Did you get that? No, I have to take care of myself. Some of the things that I tried before I really took GreySheet seriously was I was in Sea House. That was one of the best programs. I thought that was the dream program because they gave you what you wanted for breakfast, more or less. And I had none of my breakfasts didn't have carbohydrates in it once I got into that program. But what I was like before I got into any food programs was every morning I had to have a carb and a cup of tea, and that was my breakfast. I didn't even call that breakfast. That was just a snack to get into work. I rarely ate breakfast, even though it was the biggest bargain of all. You could get a lot of food for $2, whereas the next meal was a lot more expensive. And so I said, let me just stay away from that because I wasn't happy. The problem for me was my attitude was unpredictable. My moods were unpredictable. The only one who really got me was my littlest son. And he would look at me when I come in. He would just look into my eyes, and he knew what I was up to. And he would, he'd say, "You all right?" I say, "Yeah, I'm fine, hon." And she said, "Are you going to get mad at me if I don't get the answer to this problem?" Meaning my homework, because I was brutal with the little boy, the bigger boy. I always gave him a hard time when it came to the homework because I said, "You are a smart kid, and I don't understand why you're not getting it." And so I wasn't a good mommy. I got better. I got better because I said, there's something wrong with me, and I don't understand why I can't stick to a food plan. And I went into therapy. But the one thing I could say about the therapist, he never gave me any feedback. He just listened to me for whatever it was, 45 minutes to an hour. He said, "Okay, I'll see you next week." And that was it. That didn't help me at all. And so not only was I in See How, I wrote it down because I was going to forget. I was also in Food Addicts Anonymous. I like those people there. And I was in original OA, and I was in the How program, and I was in WW at least 50 times, because every time they came out with another, what I thought was variation, I was attracted to it. But that's like the textbooks. The textbooks can change one paragraph, and it's a whole new edition, but it's the same BS all the time. Excuse my language. I did the 1 meal a day, but the 1 meal never ended. Once I started eating at night, it was when I would pass out or, I didn't throw up too much. But if I passed out, that was before. I also tried other, there was pills from the guy in Brooklyn, our doctor. You saw him the first time. You never saw him again after that. It was like 6 pills, all different colors and everything. And it was a place on 7th Avenue and 7th Street, or it was 8th Avenue and 8th Street. I remember it just was a brownstone on the corner, and you went down the basement, just like any other drug that an addict would do to get their fix. And I never realized that it didn't give me anything. It didn't even give me extra energy. I also tried Contact came out with a diet pill. That thing, you were zooming all over the place. You would get up 2 o'clock in the morning and clean your whole house. And finally, they took that off the market. Of course, we were upset about that, but that was another try. The other one, How, was it was beautiful. I got along very well there, but I still don't feel like I had any friends there. If it was, if somebody went against me, I was just out. So I had Fat Serenity, and I just started to take over the Friday night and Saturday night meeting. And I tried pregnant women's urine. Such crap. Oh, that was hard. And I paid for prepaid diet and exercise programs. They were supposed to work. I never had enough money to do the shake thing. Excuse me for mentioning foods. And I ran 2.5 marathons. When the guy came out, I was always looking for a softer, easier way. So I started running. And I ran 2.5 marathons in New York, the New Jersey, and the Brooklyn Queen half. And somehow my fat would just keep catching up with me. No matter what, I could not run that stuff. And so, matter of fact, my husband asked me, how long did it take to walk around the 5 boroughs? Because it took me like over 5 hours, 35 minutes, and it was getting dark. And everybody had left, including my husband and my little boy and his father. And so, and it took me 3 days to recuperate from that. I also tried GreySheet while it was still part of OA. And I did really well, but there's nothing that, I can't say anything bad about either one, because at least it introduced me to the fact that I have a disease. I'm not a bad person. I just have a disease, and I'm a sick person trying to get well, not a bad person trying to be good. What was it? I just couldn't get it. I got thrown out a couple of times. They didn't physically throw me out. They just wouldn't talk to me. One woman, she said, call me at this time. I missed it by 2 minutes. She never spoke to me again. Never. So I was lost. And now I'm found, because because I became the go-to girl in OA. You know, we'd make up events, we'd make up holidays, we did parties, Halloween, blah, blah, blah. And we'd dress up and everything. And they really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed it too. But I had no credibility as far as the weight went. I never, I teetered here, and I could never reach goal anymore. I reached it maybe twice in OA, but the only time I was like almost a normal sized person was when I was running every day. I was running every day. And that helped me get through quite a bit. They says, well, and I told my son, well, if you work out with weights, you probably will never have a weight problem. And to this day, he still does it. Can you imagine a kid actually listening to his mommy? Now, when I came back in, my friend at school, I was always afraid of not being able to get to the bathroom. I go when I come, go when I'm on my break. I tried to make use of it so I wouldn't have to ask anybody to let me go, because I was unpredictable. It seemed like there was always something sitting on my bladder. And it was just fat. What can I say? My friend that got me in, she left. And now she's trying to come back, so I pray for her every day. She wouldn't pick up the phone. She wouldn't do anything. She was never my sponsor, but I loved the way she looked. She had this beautiful smile, and she always wore dresses. So I thought that was very schoolish of her, for the kids, she dressed, like that. And I thought that was great. And when she went out, she was so sad. She had such a beautiful, beautiful smile, but the food was beating her down, just like it was beating me down. I had rashes. I didn't know where they came from. I would hurt myself, and it'd take a long time for it to heal. It wasn't worth it. These 3 meals we weigh and measure are the cat's meow, because some people say, oh, it was only a 2 if I had to rate my meals. All of my meals are 10. I don't care what it is. The simplest meal is a 10, because it's weighed and measured, and it's all mine. I like looking at what I put on the plate. And I have nice plates, but I use paper plates. I just don't bother. And I do it 3 times a day. I call my sponsor on time. I do service. And I think that that's my obligation. And I try to create services for myself. I love it when they create services for themselves. Like one guy, he decided he wanted to make a list of meetings where you didn't have to show your video or not. And that became very, very popular. I love the retreats. Everybody knows your name. Even though you think nobody knows your name, everybody knows your name. And it's beautiful playing musical tables, going to sit with other people during the meal and seeing a bunch of people weighing and measuring their food together is like mind-blowing. It's so terrific. I went to the one-day retreat. The best bargain I got out of that was I got to see all the people that I had seen so many times on Zoom walk out
10
of the
minutes,
box, walk
Yiggi.
around. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And it was like an out-of-body experience to see all my favorite characters walking around like regular people when all I ever saw was the neck up. And we were lucky to see that, and smiles and not too much movement. But when you get to a live meeting, it's a totally different experience. And little by little, meetings are opening up a little bit. I think the pandemic was a net blessing and a curse on so many levels. I've cried because of that disease. I've laughed because of that disease. I embraced my program. I was at meetings every day. They say do 90 and 90. I think I did 90 in about 3 weeks, because there was a lot of meetings going on. I hated to see any of them close, but the fact that we had the Zoom, we could Zoom in here and we could Zoom across the ocean. We could Zoom down there. That was just like an amazing gift to us from a terrible, terrible time in our history. The other thing that I wanted to see, let me see that I write it down. You know, the best thing about running was I didn't have to think about it. Okay, a lot of people passed me, including older people, because I was a slow runner, but I'm a fast learner as far as that goes. And I loved it. I loved it when I passed the finish line. I love that I have dates with my female friends. I didn't have any female friends for so many years. I just had a couple of people that I didn't have something to say about, you know. And this place, I have a lot of support. I have a lot of friends, and I have a lot of people that all you got to do is call, tell me what you need, when do you need it, and I'm ready. I'm getting ready as we speak. I went to my son's bride's bridal shower, and we were nice. We didn't know them, they didn't know us, but somehow we came together. And then they left us for 2 hours in an empty house because they had also taken my son too. And you know what? I was still absent. There's always a way to be absent. I went through them cabinets. I called it in, made a food change, and I had what I needed for my last meal. And I don't make any apologies for it to them. I didn't even say anything to them. I said, you know, they just young people, and I'm in Connecticut, and I was nowhere where I would know anybody, and there was no stores, there was no nothing. But it was a nice place, you know. They could be as loud as they want to. There was nobody going to hear it. So I like that. I've gone away with my friends. I've gone to retreats with my friends. I've gone on vacation with my friends. I've gone to Broadway shows with my friends. I've eaten out with friends from my other fellowship. And I just pop it out. I got one of those scales that I got from the UK, which I just like having different toys. And I weigh and measure all my food without exception. And if you think that you're having a hard time in this program, just keep coming. Because if you don't get it, it will get you and suck you in, and you'll be in such a great state of being. You know, it's like I used to lay on my father's chest when he'd come home while we were reading the newspaper as a little girl. And I feel like I do that all the time. I go out with people without leaving my house. We have dinner together over the phone. I didn't respect the phone bridge for so many years until I had surgery on my foot, and that was the only meeting I could get to was the ones on the phone bridge, and they really inspired me, and the emotions come right through the phone into your heart. They just touch you all different ways. I recommend it highly. I know we got other things now going, which is great. So, you know, it's like well, I don't want to call it a Chinese menu, but in my day, I'm dating myself. You could take one from column A, 2 from column B, and make up a family dinner and take it away. And now we do the same thing. We take what we need from column A, column B. We got 88 different things that we can use to be absent. And when I'm finished, you know, sometimes I feel a little guilty because I'm feeling full. I'm just, you know, Because I remember when I was full all the
time. Yiggy.
Oh, I'm done?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I just say, please come all the way in, sit all the way down, put on your listening ears, and use restraint of tongue and pen. And I pass. Thank you.